The bitter taste of betrayal lingered in his mouth, refusing to be washed away by the strong black coffee. Each sip was a reminder of the pain he tried to drown out. It wasn't the first time! Memories flickered behind his eyelids, faces blurring into one another, all asking the same damn question. Do you believe in déjà vu? He hadn't always been this way. Once, laughter echoed in his chest, joy as familiar as his own heartbeat. Love had woven its magic around him, and he'd believed in happily ever afters. But those memories were fractured now, shards of a life broken beyond repair. A sudden commotion jolted him from his thoughts. Two men arguing spilled out onto the sidewalk, chasing a third. Fear propelled them down the narrow alley, giving him only a fleeting view of their faces. Two strangers, and one he knew all too well, Lucas. The sight sent a jolt of adrenaline through him, triggering a primal instinct to run. He didn't dare turn back, didn't dare face what lurked in the shadows of that alley. He burst through the double doors and into the sanctuary of the antique shop, gasping for breath. The bell above tinkled, announcing his arrival. Familiar comfort washed over him, the musty scent of old books, the hushed whispers of countless stories waiting to be unearthed. He'd sought refuge here countless times. Each nook held a memory, each shelf a secret. He could lose himself here, letting the labyrinth of trinkets and treasures swallow his pain. He was lost in the maze of memories when a voice sliced through the quiet like shattered glass. Do you believe in déjà vu? He froze, every instinct screaming at him to hide, to vanish. Slowly, he turned. There she stood, the woman who haunted his dreams, the one who held the key to his torment. His heart hammered against his ribs, threatening to burst from his chest. His throat constricted, and he could only stare. She was everything to him, the embodiment of his shattered past, the living embodiment of his deepest fears. Her presence radiated danger, yet he couldn't look away. As she stepped closer, each creak of the floorboard echoed the turmoil in his soul. Her eyes, pools of endless darkness, seemed to pierce through him, dissecting his pain, reading his very thoughts. He wanted to speak, to beg for mercy, but no sound escaped his lips. Trapped in his own personal hell, he watched her approach. Her steps were silent, yet somehow they thundered in his ears. With each step she took, the shadows danced around her, weaving a macabre ballet of fear and despair. When she finally stopped, he felt as if he were drowning in her gaze. The air thickened, making it hard to breathe. Time seemed to warp, stretching the silence into an unbearable eternity. He could feel his resolve crumbling, his will to resist slipping through his fingers like sand. He wanted to break free, to escape the suffocating grip of her stare, but he couldn't. He was rooted to the spot, paralyzed by a mixture of terror and morbid fascination. He wanted to scream, to shatter the oppressive quiet, but no sound dared disturb the suffocating silence. Her lips parted slightly, and he waited for the words that would seal his fate. When she spoke, her voice was like velvet, smooth and dangerous, sending shivers down his spine. "Don't you recognize me?" He wanted to answer, to deny the haunting familiarity in her voice, but he couldn't. The question hung between them, an ominous prelude to the torment that awaited. He felt a cold dread seep into his bones. Her eyes narrowed, and he winced, bracing for the inevitable recognition of the truth he desperately tried to outrun. Her face contorted in a mix of emotions, disbelief, anger, and finally, a chilling resolve. "You pretend you don't know me, yet our paths have intertwined countless times," she hissed, each word laced with venom. "You've tried to escape, to hide, but you can't outrun your fate. We're bound together in a dance of sorrow, a waltz of pain." His breath hitched in his throat. How did she know him? Why did she torment him? Questions that echoed unanswered in the cavernous space of his despair. With a dramatic sweep of her arm, she gestured to the labyrinth of antiques surrounding them. "This place, these relics, hold the secrets of our shared past," she whispered, her voice echoing the mournful toll of a distant bell. "Every object here is a witness to our story, a silent testament to the tragedy that binds us." Her words struck him like physical blows, each sentence chipping away at the fragile wall he'd built around his heart. The room spun, threatening to disorient him completely. He stumbled, catching himself on a nearby shelf, sending a cascade of memories tumbling to the floor. As the shards hit the wooden floor, the woman's laughter echoed through the shop, a sound both beautiful and terrifying. "Can't you feel it, Daniel? The echoes of our past, the fragments of our shared sorrow, she cried, her voice ringing with triumph. They're all around us, reaching out from the shadows to claim what is rightfully theirs. Daniel, his heart pounding against his ribs like a frantic bird, struggled to regain his composure. Who was this woman? What did she want from him? The questions swirled in his mind, but there were no answers to be found. Lost in the labyrinth of his own torment, he failed to notice the glint of mischief in her eyes, the subtle smirk playing on her lips. She was enjoying this, reveling in his confusion, and it both terrified and fascinated him. The woman stepped closer, her presence enveloping him like a shroud. Her voice, a silken thread, pulled at his sanity, threatening to unravel him completely. You try to hide from me, Daniel, but where can you run? Our fates are intertwined, woven together in a tapestry of sorrow that neither of us can escape, she whispered, her breath warm on his ear. He recoiled, fighting the urge to flee, to vanish from this place, from her gaze. But his feet seemed glued to the floor, anchoring him in place. Her eyes, pools of infinite darkness, held him captive. He searched for a way out, a loophole, anything to break the spell that bound him to her. But she anticipated his every move, her smile widening, revealing the predatory gleam in her eyes. There is no escape, Daniel, she purred, her voice a venomous caress. You are mine, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Before he could react, she pressed a finger to his lips, silencing him with a touch that sent shivers down his spine. She whispered, her gaze fixed on some unseen point beyond him. He's here. Fear, cold and paralyzing, gripped him. Who was he? Why did the name send a chill down his spine? Before he could question her, she was gone, melting into the shadows with a grace that belied her earlier ferocity. He stood frozen, listening intently. The antique shop, once a sanctuary, had become a prison. Its nooks and crannies whispering tales of fear and despair. Every ticking clock, every creaking floorboard amplified his terror. Then he heard it, a sound that froze his blood, the echo of footsteps in the silence. Someone, or something, was approaching. And he knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that his fate was about to be sealed. Please subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you next time.